And so, my friends, it is with humility, determination, and boundless confidence in America's promise that I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
Hillary Clinton delivering a crucial speech tonight. How'd she do? Well, Bob Shrum can give us some insight on that. He's been a strategist for the Democratic Party for 4 decades, worked on 2 presidential campaigns, and is now the Warshaw Chair in Practical Politics at the University of Southern California. Okay, let's talk some practical politics here for a moment. We've heard in the last few days a couple of 9s and 10s in the kind of speeches we heard at that convention. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put this one?
Oh, this is a 9 or 10. Hillary Clinton benefited tonight to some extent from low expectations. But let me tell you, she hit this out of the park. This was a personal speech, a revealing speech in a way that people don't often see her. She was quite funny. I mean, when she said Donald Trump spoke for 70-odd minutes, and I do mean odd, and I give you other examples from the speech. Secondly, she was thematic. She tied this all together. It wasn't a State of the Union laundry list of proposals. In fact, when she did some of the proposals, she used them to empower people. If you believe in equal pay for equal work, join us. Thirdly, this was a decent and affirmative populism where she confronted Trump from the moral high ground. I think there's a real chance that this speech will become a benchmark and a model for acceptance speeches. I've been to 12 conventions. This is really one of the best.
Now, she went a little longer than the kind of prescribed 45 minutes that's supposed to be the golden time for the acceptance speech, but not as long as Trump went last week. She covered a lot of bases. Did she leave any bases untouched?
I don't think she left any bases untouched, but the big challenge when you write these speeches and if you're the candidate is how do you touch all the bases and not look like you're touching all the bases? How do you create a thematic structure? And that's what she did. You know, until tonight, Stronger Together was a slogan. She gave it meaning. And when she talked about some of the things she talked about, like she turned her weaknesses into strengths. I know that I care too much. People say I care too much about details. But you know, details matter, especially when it's your child. This was powerful, and a lot of it was fresh and interesting, and I suspect this audience didn't decline one bit during the time she was giving the speech.
Okay, let's watch a little bit of it where she's clearly going after her opponent, Donald Trump. Watch this.
Don't let anyone tell you that our country is weak. We're not. Don't let anyone tell you we don't have what it takes. We do. And most of all, don't believe anyone who says, I alone can fix it. Yes, those were actually Donald Trump's words in Cleveland. And they should set off alarm bells for all of us. Really? I alone can fix it? Isn't he forgetting troops on the front lines, police officers and firefighters who run toward danger, doctors and nurses who care for us, teachers who change lives, entrepreneurs who see possibilities in every problem, mothers who lost children to violence and are building a movement to keep other kids safe? He's forgetting every last one of us. Americans don't say, I alone can fix it. We say, we'll fix it together.
Okay, talk to me about that, because you know we've watched Trump go after her in a highly negative way. She goes back at him today on particular points, but it does set a negative tone in terms of the two of them going like this. Is this beyond the norm?
No, I think drawing contrasts is something that's been going on in American politics for a long time. But his is kind of scattershot, random, whatever occurs to him, he just says it. A lot of it's inaccurate. what's interesting about this, and it's rare in American politics that you see this, she's really going after him from the moral high ground. And the passage that you just expressed, or you just played, is a wonderful expression of that. She had another line, I think, that was very effective, will hurt him a lot, and yet embodies in it a sense of caring about the country. And that is, he says, make America great again, then why doesn't he start making things in America again? This is pretty powerful stuff, and I do not think it will come over to people, except for the Trump true believers, as the kind of unacceptable negative that people sometimes recoil from.
You know, a lot of Americans have said they don't really know her, in spite of the fact she's been visible to them for decades. Did we learn anything about her tonight that we didn't know?
Well, I think a lot of people learned that she could be funny, which I've known for years because I've met her, know her, spent time with her. I think that people got a much truer and more rounded sense of who she is. You know, I didn't come from a family whose name was on a building, and she talked about her experience with her mother and her father. I think Chelsea's introduction of her was also very powerful and told us a lot about the kind of person Hillary Clinton was, the kind of mother she was, and the priority she put on raising that child. So I think we learned that. I also think we learned that tonight she fully and finally stepped out of the shadow of Bill Clinton. I think she can be proud of this speech. I think this speech will be effective, and I think we'll see a real bounce coming out of this convention. You know, there's a poll from Suffolk University today, taken the first 3 nights of the convention, which suddenly showed her with a 9-point lead in Pennsylvania. I think that's the dawning of the bounce. I think we'll see it fully in the next 4 or 5 days.
All right. You know, the history books will record this night for the reason we all know. And here's how she signaled it in the speech.
Standing here as my mother's daughter and my daughter's mother, I'm so happy this day has come. I'm happy for grandmothers and little girls and everyone in between. I'm happy for boys and men, because when any barrier falls in America, it clears the way for everyone. After all, when there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit.
All right, I got about a minute left. Give me the impact that this element is going to have on the rest of this campaign, the fact that she's the first woman.
I don't think that it's just because she's the first woman that she's going to draw overwhelming support from women. I think it's also the fact that her opponent has engaged in a pattern of misogyny and sexism in terms of the things he said over a long period of time. I mean, the attack on Megyn Kelly is a classic example. The Fox News anchor whom he attacked and basically implied that she was having her period when she was asking him questions because they were tough questions. But, you know, when you listen to that line, when there are no glass ceilings, the sky's the limit, you have to say this is someone who isn't just wonky. This is someone who can inspire people, and that, I think, is going to be the real success of this speech. It was inspirational, not programmatic.
All right. We're going to leave it at that. Bob Shrum, great to talk to you. Thanks for your insight on all this.
Thanks.